There's been some shuffling, and there's a lot of uncertainty in what this offense can do because of the instability and the play at the quarterback position. Lovie Smith said he doesn't really know much about any of these guys because they have played so poorly on offense. A lot of that because of all the change they've had at that QB spot.
Now Anthony Thomas, who has had 3 solid games when the Bears won 3, now is in the lineup, 2nd and 10, and he's going to get the ball and hand off to Bernard Berry, and the rookie on an end around, and it's going to work, and it's going to work big for the Bears, and driven out of bounds. A big 26-yard gain. Brian Williams made the play, and a little trickery, and why not for the Bears?
Well, gadget plays work best when you're deep in your end. Here's your key right there. He starts to chase the play down inside. They've got Chad Hutchinson there to seal him if he gets back, but there's 57, Olin Kreutz out in front. So a lot of times people want to use the gadget plays, which are reverses and some of the trickery when they get to midfield or down in opponent's territory. They always work best when you're backed up.
So a first down for the Bears on their 42, play action, and plenty of time for Hutchinson, and this pass is going to be incomplete, intended for Desmond Clark. He had a chance to make the reception. As we take a look now at the Minnesota defense, and what performances last week from the likes of Kevin Williams and Kenechi Udeza.
Well, they are finding ways to win football games, and a lot of it has to do with this defense, and it's going to be built around those 2 guys you mentioned up front, and they're starting to gel. They're really starting to get a feel. We mentioned this is their 4th game playing together. That is so important when you talk about a group taking that next step. You've got to know what that guy next to you does in certain situations.
And it's a young team at that, so it is 2nd down, and the handoff to Anthony Thomas to the 45-yard line. If you want to take a look at where these teams rank, the Bears offense is last in the NFL, and they are dead last in many categories, and the Vikings 27th, but that could be deceiving considering they have held the opponent to under 20 in the last 2 games.
And they are peaking at the right time. They're playing their best football defensively, the Minnesota Vikings, right now. And that ranking for the Chicago Bears, when you're starting your 4th quarterback in Week 12, you don't expect very good offensive stats.
3rd down and 6, and Hutchinson rolling out and being chased, and Hutchinson's pass and tipped incomplete, and it was Donatarius Thomas who gave Hutchinson a run for his money. So 4th, Dante Culpepper, who, if you just forget about Peyton Manning, hard to do that. He's in a world of his own. Dante Culpepper has been the best quarterback in the NFL. First down on the 15, and a 2 tight end formation to open the game. Culpepper with the short drop is going to go to Burleson, and he makes a leaping catch. Nate Burleson, who has filled in admirably with Moss unable to go.
Maybe more than admirably. And you know, I don't think he's getting enough credit either. You talked about Dante Culpepper, but Nate Burleson has come in and really done a great job on the outside while Randy Moss, I think it allowed Mike Tice to have the confidence in his offense when Nate Burleson stepped up.
I tell you, Jerry Zuma did all you could do to cover Burleson on that play. Good for 23 yards. First down, Vikings on the 38. Play clock down to 6. Culpepper on and out, and making the catch, but hit is Marcus Robinson, the former Chicago Bears. Played his first 5 years with the Chicago Bears, and a gain of 6 yards. So Dante Culpepper, who's 70% completion percentage, leads the NFL. Only category he exceeds Peyton Manning in, and he'll take it. 2nd down and 4. Handoff to Ontario Smith, and Smith short of the first down by a couple of yards. Williams in a tight formation is the tailback. And they're going to go on an end around to Burleson, and Burleson will get the first down. So back at you, say the Vikings, and they get into Bear territory, picking up 9 yards on the play. The Chicago Bears defensively, and this is the strength of the team, and a strong front. And Brian Urlacher is in there. They have not won a game when Urlacher hasn't played, whatever that means now.
And another one of the big changes they were able to do with Charles Tillman coming back, they were able to put R.W. McQuarters back at the free safety spot. I think that is going to pay big dividends in the secondary.
First down on the 43, and pressure on Culpepper, and he drills it, and it's caught by Randy Moss. And Moss, with his first catch of the game, is down at the 30-yard line, maybe the 31 of the Bears, picking up 12 yards. So Randy Moss, who admittedly fired up, still remembers last year's finale against these teams.
Well, you've got Adewale Ogunleye and Tommy Harris, two guys that get a lot of press. But the guy, to me, that has been the difference maker this season for that Bear front is Alex Brown. I mean, he is unbelievable. Got a great first step. They just signed him to a long-term deal to secure him for the future.
Ontario Smith breaking a tackle, and you can see the power in this running back as he charges to the 25-yard line. Hunter Hillenmeyer making the tackle, 5-yard pickup. The Vikings 4th in offense in the NFL this year, and the Bears 17th. That's according to yardage. Those are the rankings according to yardage. Many coaches will tell you that it's points against and turnover ratio a better barometer.
And the other thing you have to realize, a team can be good defensively because they've got an offense that takes time off the clock. This Bear defense has been on the field a bunch. They have been scoring points to keep them in games.
And this pass is going to be intercepted. Flag is down. Jerry Azuma returning it, and now it is picked up. And Azuma down the sideline, and no signal has been made. So Azuma apparently did not go out of bounds. We'll see what the officials say. We do know, though, there is a penalty flag back at the 8-yard of the year, and a first down on the 37-yard line in a scoreless game. Thomas Jones returns to setback. And Hutchinson looking to throw, and dropping it was the fullback Brian Johnson.
It looks like Mike Tice taking the team and really talking to the defense early, help these guys out. They look very poised out there. They're not making a lot of mistakes from what I can see up there.
But the big thing, when they've had their MAs, it's been more in the running game than it has been breakdowns and coverages or things like that. And that's one of the things I think that the Bears are missing right now. Yeah, their offensive line, they've got some different guys in there, but they need to start running the ball a little bit more. You've got Chad Hutchinson in there. Get him comfortable. Don't throw the game on his shoulders right away.
Second down and 10 on the 37, and here's Jones looking for running room up the middle, and he gets inside the 35-yard line for a gain of about 3.5. And right now for a game break, let's go out to L.A. and James Brown.
Hey, Dick, opening drive for the Buccaneers, a flawless one of 10 plays, 63 yards, culminated with that 4-yard TD run by Michael Pittman, his 8th touchdown in the last 5 games. We asked, how can the Bucs be favored? Well, they're making a statement early. 7-0 Bucs. Back to Dick Stockton.
All right, JB, and of course the Falcons in position to wrap up the NFC South with a win today.
Yeah, you can't look past the Buccaneers. They're a lot like Minnesota right now. They're peaking. They had a slow start, but they are playing as well as they have all the season.
Jones on the inside handoff. Thomas Jones bursts inside the 20, a first down. Brian Russell makes the tackle, so Thomas Jones, who leads the team in rushing and receiving, picks up 17.
Watch his ability to make people miss in small spaces. That is what the sign of a great running back is. That looks like a dead play. The trust in your fullback, Brian Johnson. A good job of coming around and finding Willie Oford, but being able to get into those small spots in the vision never slows down. His feet are always moving forward. Get in your quarterback's rhythm of his cadence if you played with him long enough.
They put the tight end, Dustin Lyman, way out to the right. Second down and 8 at the 16-yard line. Here's the pressure on Hutchinson, and he won't get away. No chance. He is 6'5", and he's rangy, but he couldn't handle the likes of Spencer Johnson, the impressive rookie from Auburn, not drafted. And the Vikings knocked back Hutchinson for a loss of 8.
Well, right now, they're not giving him a chance to be successful. I don't know why the plays are being called in this fashion down at this part of the field. Thomas Jones is the guy who got you here. And now all of a sudden, you're breaking formation. You're extending your tight end to the outside. I just haven't seen a consistent play calling that is going to allow Chad Hutchinson to be successful.
You think offensive coordinators get too cute sometime, Moose?
They have too much time in the meeting room sometimes. Too much time when the players leave the facility to draw up stuff.
All right, 3rd and 16. Slipping for the moment. Hutchinson's pass caught wide open. And Justin Gage will have a first down inside the 5. Talk about slipping. It looked like a Viking defender fell down on the grass. And a 20-yard pickup, and the Bears are in business.
Well, this is why you bring Chad Hutchinson in. A little curl right there shuts it down, and you're exactly right, Dick. Brian Williams, the defender, takes that move to the outside and then falls down. Chad Hutchinson, good rhythm, good delivery, and that is the one thing about when they make that comment.
3rd down and goal on the 6 with under 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. This is the 9th play of the drive, and the slant pass, they go to the tight end, and he gets in. Desmond Clark for the touchdown. So the Bears take advantage of the interception by Azuma and the scamper down the sideline. They stumble a bit, but finally, Chad Hutchinson in with his first NFL touchdown in a Bears uniform by Desmond Clark, 6 yards, and the Bears jump up.
And those were better plays that were called by...
Dick, it is a little bit long, the grass down here. You wouldn't think they would be having footing problems, but it seemed like they watered it down earlier when we first got here, and that's what's causing the problem, I think.
Second down and 21. Culpepper has plenty of time, and he has a wide-open Jermaine Wiggins. And look at Jermaine Wiggins carrying Mike Green about 10 or 15 yards. And into Bear territory, and Culpepper says, let's keep marching. 37 yards on the play.
There goes number 85, Jermaine Wiggins. You see him going out. There were your defenders, so there's a blown coverage because you had two guys running with the crosser, and nobody took Jermaine Wiggins. But as you pointed out, Dick, look at the effort at the end of the run. He took Mike Green for a ride. Mike Green's got to pay him $1 for that trip.
Wiggins, second leading receiver, and what a find he has been for the Vikings. First down on the 44 of Chicago. The Bears lead at 7-0, and Culpepper has the ability to do this. He can juke, he can run, and he's dragged out, but he gets a first down. Hillenmeyer makes the play, and they pick up Culpepper's number, 11 yards. Fox Sports high definition. First down on the 28, and the Vikings with only one timeout left in this first half. Ontario Smith stopped and went outside and winds up not in the end zone but inside the 5. What a great piece of running by Smith, who gets 25 in the process.
Block. Sean Burton, number 44. Here's a guy that was released right before the season started, and then they were able to get him back. Look at the adjustment right there between he and Bryant McKinney. That is outstanding right there to be able to adjust. And as you said, Dick, Ontario Smith basically comes to a complete stop. Boy, he has really shown a lot since he has been designated the guy that they want to feature the rest of the year.
And at his best rushing day against the Bears in week 3, 94 yards. First and goal at the 2. And the pass to Randy Moss, incomplete. And helping was R.W. McQuarters. Nathan Vasher covering on the play, did not have control if he did stay in bounds.
You don't see this very often when Randy Moss has an opportunity to make a play. He never had control of that ball. You see the confidence that Dante Culpepper has. He threw one up to Nate Burleson early in the game on a go route. He throws that one up when Nathan Vasher is in pretty good coverage. So there's a tremendous amount of confidence between the quarterback and all of his wide receivers, not just Randy Moss.
No one has had the ball in the red zone more than the Vikings this year. Second down and goal. Mo Williams is the back, but Culpepper is going to be tackled back at the 5-yard line. So the Bears did a great job of covering the receivers, and the front men did a terrific job with Adewale Ogunleye getting the sack, a loss of 3.
I really think it was a single route, and right there it's just that fade again. Charles Tillman out there, very similar to the play you had last season. But once he was in the position to have the good coverage, Dante Culpepper really didn't have another option to go to. What he needed to do when he broke contain, he's 260 pounds. Tuck that ball down and go nose to the end zone.
Yeah, he aborted that play really fast. As soon as he got on the corner, his receiver wasn't wide open. His eyes went right to the linebacker.
Can the Vikings get in the end zone, or will the Bears force them to settle for 3? Third and goal, and a play action to Randy Moss, and the flip to the end zone. Flag is down. Burleson makes the catch. It would be a touchdown, but there's a penalty. And there you see Lance Johnstone talking with Olin Kreutz.
You better bring everything you got if you want to call out Olin Kreutz. But we talked about it at the top.
Start of the second quarter. Dick Darrell and Tony with you at Soldier Field from the 30-yard line. Thomas Jones diving, and Jones, who needed just inches, got a lot more than that, picking up 8 yards and a first down to the 38.
Thomas Jones got down here real quick, and that he got so much forward lean. He was waiting for somebody to come up and hit him and straighten him back up so he could keep going down the field, but there was nobody there. You watch as he presses the outside. Now, right now, he's getting into that forward lean. Okay, somebody come back in and hit me and straighten me up.
First down on the 38-yard line. Chad Hutchinson, the 4th quarterback of the year for the Bears. Here's Jones off right tackle. And he is stopped by the rookie Darian Scott after a pickup of 6 yards.
Well, the Minnesota Vikings are the second worst team in the NFL when it comes to yards per carry in the running game. And, you know, we talked about it. Tony mentioned the fact Mike Tice is so concerned he took him off the field just so he could get the defense sat down at the chalkboard and go over some of these assignments. And we're starting to see again right now, Thomas Jones is starting to hit some big runs on him.
Can't stop the run. You're not going to go far in the playoffs. They've given up 5 yards a clip. It'll be 2nd down and 3. Play action this time, and Hutchinson hits his man. The pass complete to David Terrell. So you know the wide receivers on this Bear team will be delighted to see Hutchinson, who can extend the field with the vertical play, gets 19, a first down into Minnesota territory.
Well, they have only got 2 touchdowns from the wide receivers, and that's really not their fault. They just haven't been able to get the ball down the field. 2 of those touchdowns are long plays, but there has not been a consistent part in their approach from week to week of being able to stretch the field vertically. Chad Hutchinson gives you that ability, but again, that's off of play action, and it comes from the success that Thomas Jones is having in the run game.
First down on the 36 of the Vikings. And in motion is Berrien, and a fake end around this time. And the pass on the run, and it is caught by Justin Gage. And a first down at the 25. Haven't seen the Bears look this flamboyant in a long time. Let's check in with JB.
All right, then take a look at Chris Chandler in at quarterback for the injured Mark Bulger, hooking up with Torrey Holt in the corner of the end zone, 22-yard strike. Chandler, 4-5, 102 yards in relief. Bulger out with a sprained AC joint in his throwing shoulder. St. Louis up by a touchdown. Back to Dick, Darrell, and Tony.
Boy, just throw that QB in that system and away he goes. That's unbelievable.
Who's going to win the NFC West? That's the big question. First down on the 25. Jones hit behind the line of scrimmage. Maybe no gain. Claiborne and Newman, the 2 outside linebackers. And no gain.
Yeah, he got sandwiched. They came from opposite directions on him. That's one of those hits that the impact, you've got one guy coming from one side, the other guy coming from the opposite side. They hit your helmet at the same time. And the magnitude of that hit is just, look at that, boom, boom, right each side of the helmet, right to the head. Thomas Jones going to be knocking some cobwebs out later today.
2nd down and 10. Wade came in motion. Here's the pressure. No chance. The offensive line could not keep the Vikings' Kevin Williams out, and a loss of 10 yards. NFL Defensive Player of the Week last week.
Well, he's just a great player right now. Kevin Williams is becoming a dominant inside guy. And, you know, a lot of people talk about Sean Rogers in Detroit, but I don't know. This guy as a rookie last year was phenomenal. He may be, with Chris Jenkins not being 100% down in Carolina, Kevin Williams is starting to become one of the more dominant inside players in the NFL.
77-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown. Wrap things up against Jacksonville. 3rd down and 20. Hutchinson to Terrell. Could not hold on. Incomplete. Looked like he had him. And Terrell knows it.
Well, we've talked about Chad Hutchinson's ability to get the ball down the field. This is a great throw right over the top of Willie Elford. I mean, David Terrell has got to make this catch. You've got to make that catch.
So now it's 4th down, and Paul Edinger, who's been somewhat of a disappointment. That was a pure drop back. Meanwhile, the Vikings with a first down on the 27-yard line. Burleson going in motion. And Culpepper on the run and is tripped up at the 32 by Ian Scott after getting 5.
He just doesn't seem like he's moving really quickly, but he's always, it's like the necessary amount of speed. We saw it last week with Michael Vick also. I think when you talk about these mobile quarterbacks, whether it's Dante or Donovan or Michael Vick, you know, they just kind of move just enough to stay ahead of the defender, because I think all 3 of those guys really want to be known as a thrower, not as a scrambler.
2nd down and 5, and Lovie Smith feels that the Vikings, an indoor team, are not the same team playing outdoors. Here's Ontario Smith, and Smith short of the first down by a yard, stopped by the strong safety Mike Green, picking up 4. You know, as far as the cuts by the receivers, it's not as crisp as when you have
his element. He's 20 pounds lighter. He's back to that explosive first step that he had when he was at the University of Florida.
From the 41 of Minnesota, Vikings trailing by 3 and they fake the run and complete the pass to Marcus Robinson. And a 14-yard gain, and now the Vikings are in Chicago territory.
This is the one offense that has given this defense that was constructed down in Tampa Bay with Lovie Smith and Tony Dungy, and then he brought it to St. Louis. But when you talk about teams that they've played, Minnesota seems to be the one offense that has had the most success against this system.
Works against most teams, but Minnesota finds a way. You saw Randy Moss check back into the lineup. First down at the 45, and they hand off to Ontario Smith. Smith breaking it, and it's going to take Mike Green downfield and Nathan Vasher to bring him back. A 20-yard burst for Smith. Off to a good start.
And I don't like the running back by committee because I think it takes guys a lot of time to get in there. And Mike Green right there takes a horrible angle as he's coming in. He doesn't see, he loses track of where the ball is. He doesn't realize that Ontario Smith has the ball and he's coming downfield at him.
Dante's also doing a great job, Moose, of giving some hand signals and the communication between him and his receivers and his offensive line. You can see the time that he's had with his offense really pays off compared to the Chicago Bears offensive quarterback.
Culpepper looking downfield, finds nothing and runs out of bounds. And he's just making the Bears, Tony, hesitate just enough for them to get good plays.
You know, both sides of the, we talked to both head coaches. They both talked about how their defenses are gap control. I see it a lot more from Chicago, where they really solidified the middle of the field, and they're really hurting a little bit on the edges and the short passes. But on the Minnesota side, I really see the middle of the field being wide open and the gaps being there.
And gap control means what, Darryl?
Well, you got one guy responsible for every gap. And the good thing about that is when you have a big play break, you can always find out where the responsibility was, where that missed assignment was, because one guy lost his gap responsibility.
Ontario Smith is tackled from behind by Michael Haynes after picking up 3. Vikings threatening, had a first down on that last play. Ontario Smith has 60 yards rushing, averaging more than 8.5 yards per carry. So this is a team that has been loaded with running backs, with Michael Bennett, as you mentioned. Mewelde Moore has been inactive. He's had an injury, and Mo Williams, the short yardage guy, but nothing wrong with Ontario Smith.
I think the other guys you mentioned, they all have the kind of specific to a certain situation where Ontario Smith is probably the one guy that can do all those things very well.
Second down and 7. The ball on the Bears 12. Culpepper passing to the tight end Jermaine Wiggins, who is stopped. Do not believe he has the first down. It's very close.
No, he's about a yard short, looks like, down here. Okay.
Are you the line judge now all of a sudden?
Yeah, any help you need, just come down to me. I'll help you out. Any situation you need, buddy. That's what I'm here for. I support.
We appreciate that.
The other area that we've seen there's our official linesman down there. The head linesman. But Dante Culpepper's patience, his ability to check the ball down and instead of trying to force a big play down the field, you saw his high completion percentage. A lot of that is his maturation and the patience he's developed.
Third down and 1. Mo Williams, the short yardage back, gets the call, and Mo Williams appears to have the first down. Under 6.5 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Bears leading the Vikings 10-7, and leading the NFL in goal-to-go offense are these Vikings at over 85, nearly 86%.
That's impressive. We talk about the importance of not kicking field goals when you get down to the red zone. So the Minnesota Vikings right there, that is an impressive statistic for this season.
And they need that guy, the Bears, on defense. Brian Urlacher. First and goal, the ball at the 4. Pass is intercepted by that guy, Brian Urlacher. Urlacher being chased by Culpepper, brings it out to the 44-yard line. Another big Bears interception when the Vikings were threatening.
Boy, he got a read on that play. Woo!
And a return of 40.
Dante Culpepper the whole time. He's going to see his eyes, and then he sees where the receiver is coming in. You see the jump that he got. Now, they were trying to run a slant in behind Brian Urlacher.
First and 10 at the 39-yard line of the Vikings. And the pitch going to Thomas Jones. Jones hit immediately and knocked back, will lose about 1.5 yards. Kevin Williams.
There's Brian Urlacher right here. Now watch how he stays in position. And then when he sees where Dante Culpepper wants to go with the ball, he jumps right into that throwing lane. Because here comes that slant right in behind him. Great anticipation, as Tony said, in being able to kind of trick the quarterback into thinking he's got that lane.
And he has to react in a hurry. That ball whizzed right to him. So Azuma and Urlacher with interceptions. Meanwhile, the Bears with 2nd down and 11, play action. And Hutchinson in trouble. And Hutchinson in real trouble. And he manages to throw it away. Kevin Williams was on his tail. And Hutchinson threw it away. Tell you though, right now, when you look at all the quarterbacks, of course, Grossman got hurt in the first Minnesota game with the knee. He is their quarterback for next year. But of all the quarterbacks I've used since then, right now I'd have to say Chad Hutchinson looks the best.
Yeah, and he should. I mean, there's no reason that he shouldn't be better than Jonathan Quinn or Craig Krenzel. And that's not a knock on those two guys. Just Chad has been in the NFL longer. Has had more opportunities. Now, the big thing is, what is he going to do with this opportunity? Because Lovie Smith, the only thing he said on next year is Rex Grossman at number 1. He does not know what he's going to do at number 2 or number 3.
And you saw Antoine Winfield out, so maybe they work on that side if they can. And over the middle, here's Thomas Jones with the catch. And short of the first down by about 5 yards.
Competition next training camp for that kicking job.
Vikings will have the shotgun from the 42 and the screen pass to Ontario Smith. Smith breaking a few tackles and getting close to the first down. Will be short by about 1 yard. Urlacher downfield making the tackle.
And that's the thing, when you roll the dice on that point of the field, you go for that long field goal, but that ball is placed at the spot of the kick. Now, you took that interception back, took some time off the clock. You wonder in that situation, do you punt it down and make them? Because this was supposed to be a field position game.
Reminded me of Thanksgiving Day when Edinger tried a long field goal in a very tight game when neither team could move the ball.
And it all went south for him after that.
3:20 remaining. It'll be 2nd down and 1. Culpepper still has time. And on the run, here's Smith, and it tipped away. Urlacher was downfield covering Ontario Smith and got a hand on it. He is all over the field today, Brian Urlacher.
Well, Moose, you said it early. They haven't won a game when Brian Urlacher wasn't in it.
The amazing thing to me is this guy had surgery like 17 days ago. And I'm not talking about something minor. I mean, his calf was opened up to let that muscle come out and bleed so they could heal it back up. I mean, that is just an amazing job with a guy like Dante scrambling.
Look at the difference with and without Urlacher, night and day. And he enjoyed it. You see him when he was smiling down on the ground? He likes the game.
0-4, though, that's the big one. You can give up the yards, but they weren't winning any games.
3rd down and 1. And Culpepper completes it to Randy Moss. And Moss is down at the 40. And a first down with 3 minutes remaining in the half. That is the 2nd catch of the game for Moss.
Well, we were told that Randy Moss was as close to 100% as he's been all season, closer to 100 than he was to 90. I don't buy that right now. I know it's cooler out, and it's going to take that muscle a little bit longer to get warmed up and then to be able to keep it warm the whole day. But he seems to be pacing himself like he did last week.
And we even saw him on the sidelines sitting out a few plays in an earlier series. First down from the 40. Culpepper, a Bear got his hand on him and wide open downfield, and what a catch by Marcus Robinson. The ball looked as if it was going to be overthrown, and Marcus Robinson makes the catch in the back of the end zone for a 40-yard touchdown.
They don't have the defense that Pittsburgh has, but I think they match up very well with the Philadelphia Eagles. It's going to be a great game to watch.
There you saw the scoring drive of the Vikings and Chad Hutchinson. And the crowd thought that the tight end Desmond Clark was held by E.J. Henderson, but no flag was thrown.
And that's the guy that you thought when this new rule was put in place, the tight end position. There's the one. Now, that ball's already passed. So the contact, the little hook that E.J. Henderson had, that was when the ball had already gone beyond Desmond Clark. But a lot of people, when the illegal contact and the rule was put in place this year at the start of the season, not so much the wide receivers and cornerbacks on the outside, but the tight ends and the linebackers on the inside of the formations.
2nd and 10 for Hutchinson, who was 7 of 14 for 81 yards. And now he completes it to Desmond Clark. Threw it on the wrong side of him, but they get it out to the 35-yard line, picking up 11 yards and a first down.
Good, I like that.
He'd like that. First down on the 35 of Chicago. That's Bobby Wade going in motion. Hutchinson, and again, the defensive line is beating up on the offensive line of the Bears, and it was Kevin Williams and Udeza. That same combination that made the big play against the Jaguars last week.
He's just so disruptive. We talked about him before. I mean, he can just control the game from the inside.
And this one to Gage, thrown behind him. Cannot hold on. So all of a sudden it is 3rd down and 16. And right now the Minnesota Vikings, who have used up all of their timeouts, see that if they can hold the Bears here, we'll get another chance to do some business. And there you see Hutchinson under pressure, sacked 3 times.
And a lot of that is not because he has been holding the ball. I mean, Kevin Williams is starting to take over this game up front for the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, he is really, really starting to be a presence. And we haven't even heard from Kenichi Udeza yet, and he's their big speed rusher that's lined up right next to him.
3rd down and 17. All Hutchinson wants is some time for Christmas. And now rushing, looking for a receiver, lays it out there, and the play is caught by Bobby Wade. What a catch by Wade, with a defender leaping with him, and a timeout called by the Bears. They got 31 yards to the 40-yard line.
Great adjustment by Bobby Wade. You see right there, he goes down the field. Derek Ross
up, covering.
But watch Bobby Wade on the left side of your screen. He's running a comeback, and then he sees Chad Hutchinson get in trouble. That little adjustment right there, called a scramble drill. If you're down in the shallower part of the route, you turn and go down the field. If you're deep, you come back to your quarterback. Good execution on a broken play.
Giving the Bears a first down on the Viking 40-yard line. Bears have converted a couple of 3rd and longs so far in this game. And this pass overthrown to Wade, who claims he was held up. Again, no flag. Bring up 2nd down.
And this group of wide receivers has got to be excited at this point, because we haven't seen the ball get down the field vertically as much in the last 3 or 4 games as we have this afternoon with Chad Hutchinson. The
passer rating for Hutchinson is 91. The highest rating of any Bear quarterback this year was Grossman when he got hurt at 67.9. And the big thing for Hutchinson is that he hasn't really made any mistakes yet. It is 2nd down and 10 with 1:26 on the clock. And the pass is caught by Desmond Clark. He had to turn around to make the catch. He did, and the Bears appear to have a first down. They'll move the chains, and they hurry it up. They still have 1 timeout remaining. They're on the 30-yard line. Average gain on first down right now, Minnesota 11, the Bears 1. Not important right now, as the Bears are threatening to narrow the gap. And there is the slant to David Terrell, and a first down again inside the 20-yard line. And right now the hurry up means hurry up Hutchinson hitting everybody. And this is an area where you thought he might struggle a little bit, because he probably has not had very many opportunities to go through this in practice. And he he did. He completed another one. I thought Clark had bobbled it, but he caught it. However, he could not get out of bounds. Picked up 4 yards, and the clock continues to run. And now the Bears are forced to use their final clock. 2nd down and 6. Hutchinson swings it out, and incomplete, almost picked off by Ross. Bobby Wade, the intended receiver, and nearly disaster for the Bears. Wow. Chad Hutchinson's got to hold that ball, get it up into the corner, and let Bobby Wade run under it. Watch 84. It's kind of a flat and go. You know, you got to extend that ball down by the pylon. He is very fortunate that Derek Ross didn't get underneath that. He would have gone all the way. Of course, that pass was high to make the pick, but he got a hand on it. So here come the Bears, who are facing 3rd down and 6. They've converted 5 of 8 on 3rd downs. 3 wide receivers. Hutchinson lofts it, a fade, it's caught, Terrell, touchdown, Chicago. And right now the fans at Soldier Field are wondering, where has he been? Chad Hutchinson with a touchdown pass, 15 yards to David Terrell.
Derek Ross stumbles a little bit on the release right there, so David Terrell has him beat immediately. A good touch by Chad Hutchinson, but Dick, you pointed it out. On their first touchdown and on this touchdown drive. The first one, 3rd and 16, converted points. This one, 37.
Coaches are on the same wavelength right now.
Well, Tony, they got 3 sacks, and they put him under a lot of pressure. He just handled it very well.
I think he's a little bit upset he didn't get more pressure on first down, because he said when we got the pressure on first down, he struggled on 2nd and 3rd.
Talk about handling it well. Alex Brown buries Ontario Smith as you take a look at the comparison, and Hutchinson looks very good next to Culpepper.
He really does, but there's the point that you talked about, Dick. 2 TDs, no interceptions. He's not making the mistakes that you thought he might make in his first start in some time.
Loss of a couple of yards, so it'll be 2nd down and longs for the Vikings. 2nd and 12. Brian Urlacher returning after missing a couple of weeks. And it could have been a lot more. They expected it to be 4 to 6. It was only about 3. But the problem on his leg. Here is Culpepper on the screen to Ontario Smith. Actually a swing pass to the running back, and Urlacher is there again. Do you think Brian Urlacher loves to play football?
It's unbelievable. Watch the athleticism. Here he is right here in the middle. He's showing blitz. He's man-to-man coverage on Ontario Smith. The presence to lose a little bit of ground so you don't get caught up in the wash. And then the athletic ability to be able to chase him down from inside out.
Looks like there are 10 of Urlachers out there the way he's been picking people off, going after running backs, sideline to sideline. 3rd down and 13. Out of the shotgun, some pressure on Culpepper, and he gets hit from behind. And it is a free ball, no pass intended, and it looks like the Bears have it. No signal was given that it was a pass attempt, and it was Lance Briggs who recovered the fumble. 1st and 10 at the 46 of the Bears. David Terrell going in motion, and the fake end around, and the screen pass to Thomas Jones. And the Vikings are there. Vikings just smelled it out well. Keith Newman making the tackle on the play, and a 3-yard pickup. We told you earlier about Antoine Winfield, who is the top corner on the Vikings. Suffered an ankle injury in the first quarter and not returning. Derek Ross taking his place.
He was beaten for the touchdown there at the end of the first half.
Terrell's first touchdown reception of the year. 2nd down and 7 near midfield. Jones gets into Viking territory, will find himself about 3.5 yards short of the first down. Early here in the 3rd quarter, the Bears took a 10-7 lead. Hutchinson hitting Desmond Clark to make it 7-0. Culpepper tied it up with a TD pass to Burleson. And then Ettinger's 53-yard field goal, matching his career high, made it 10-7. Culpepper hit Marcus Robinson for 40 yards. And then Hutchinson, with 22 seconds left in the first half, hitting David Terrell. Thus a 17-14 score. 3rd and 4. Hutchinson this time bounces it. Trying to go to Brian Johnson, the fullback. 4th down coming up.
On the punt team are not on the field that they've seen all afternoon.
Bears very fortunate. They actually get 40 yards out of the exchange. Starting from the 9-yard line, Ontario Smith off the right side. Breaks a tackle and knocked out of bounds. Gain of 5.
Bears are doing a good job of solidifying the gaps inside, but you know, I don't know how they're getting outside. They're going to get run down by the Minnesota Vikings. They got a lot of speed on that defense.
But you got Tommy Harris, who's nicked up a little bit. He's not 100% right now, so that's probably one of the reasons why that inside is a little bit vulnerable.
2nd and 5. There's Urlacher coming up to the line. Is he going to come? No, he goes back, and the pass caught, not getting the first down and a fumble. And the Bears have it. Mike Green. Mike Green has the ball, and it was Randy Moss who coughed it up. Turnover number 3 against Minnesota. And in a bad place, too, for them.
We kind of saw Brian Urlacher do this on the touchdown also. He gets up in the line, Charles Tillman again. Hey, Randy Moss called him out, said, that's not going to happen again. He took the ball away from him last season to secure the Bears win, and now this year he pulls it loose again for a critical turnover down in the Vikings part of the field. But Brian Urlacher, the ability to get up into the line of scrimmage between the guard-center gap, show blitz, and then get back out and make an impact on the play.
Well, here's a team that does better when they force those fumbles on the road. And here's Hutchinson running for his life, and he's brought down by Kenny Mixon, and a big loss for the Bears. So Mixon comes through for the Vikings, and a 10-yard loss on the play.
A 10-yard loss, but Chad Hutchinson makes a good decision. He was going to try and force something. He got that ball back in and secured it, so Kenny Mixon didn't get the sack fumble. Don't give away the points right now.
Mike Tyson's doing exactly what he said he was going to do at halftime. Bring a lot more pressure on first down, and hopefully it'll disrupt him for second and third down.
So it's second down and now 20. That was a big play for the Vikings, and here is the handoff to Thomas Jones. Jones getting back to the 20-yard line. It'll bring up third and very long as we check in with James Brown for a game break.
Hey, Dick, Michael Vick's league-leading 13th fumble led to this play. The next play, Greasy hooking up with Joey Galloway of the Bucs. 36-yard touchdown, 20-0 the Bucs. Now we know why the Bucs were favored over Atlanta. Back to Dick, Darrell, and Tony.
You know, there's a lot riding on this game, because if Atlanta loses at their third loss, the Packers and the Vikings have 4 losses, so they still could feel maybe we can get into a second seed. First things first, win a division.
Yeah, you want to win the division first, but your next step is that by that first weekend, Atlanta's putting themselves in a position where they could lose that opportunity.
3rd and 6, the ball out of the way, and let's see if the Vikings get it back. They do, and it was Lance Johnstone who leads the Vikings in sacks with 8, knocks the ball down, and a 3-yard loss, and Minnesota gets it right back.
Knew how important it was for his defensive line to win that battle down in the trenches. They're starting to take control right now.
From the 18-yard line, 1st and 15, Ontario Smith has an opening up the middle, and his burst gets him up to the 27-yard line, a 10-yard pickup. Mike Green making the tackle.
It seems almost like both defensive coordinators are bringing the heat. You know, Ron Rivera's having almost all the linebackers up on the line of scrimmage, pulling them sometimes like we saw earlier, but it seems both defenses are in a nice group right now, guys.
Yeah, but I like that play call right there into the face of the blitz, because you break that level, you've got everybody committed, you're right on the secondary after your second step.
And here's another call similar to that as Ontario Smith tries to scramble for the first down, and he makes it. As Smith is finally downed at the 34-yard line, a 7-yard gain. And the Vikings, who have the first down the natural way, they've gotten 2 first downs on this drive because of defensive holding. They get this one here and continue from the 34.
And the one big one that really hurt the Bears was the one on Nathan Basher when they would have been punting, and all of a sudden they get the ball right back to the Vikings.
1st and 10 at the 35. They go to Smith again off the left side, and a minimal gain that time. Smith has had a big game today, however, has averaged over 7 yards a carry.
Urlacher and Lance Briggs and all these guys moving up, you know, there is a tendency to try and do something because you know you've got to get somewhere to get that block, and you're moving a little soon.
2nd down and 13. Here comes the pressure on Culpepper, running away from it, but tackled. And he'll be about 10 yards or so short of the first down as Ian Scott makes the tackle. And Scott certainly coming on and earning a starting role this year.
When your blitzer comes in, if you're going to chop him, you've got to get him up in his... You know what? I'm not going to get on Mo Williams that hard because he actually did not go down by his ankles. That was just a very, very athletic play by Lance Briggs. I thought maybe he had dove down near his ankles, but Lance Briggs just hurdled him.
Nice vertical by Lance, I'll tell you that.
3rd down and 10 out of the shotgun. Crowd in full throat now. 3rd down and 9, call it. And here comes the pressure on Culpepper. Gets away from one man, not the other, but he flips it out to Mo Williams. Mo Williams down the field inside the 40-yard line. Talk about a great ad-lib play by Dante Culpepper, ready to go down. Finds Williams and gains 28 yards.
Jerry Zuma is going to have him in a bear hug. He's the guy that's coming on the blitz. He keeps working. Watch this. He's got him from behind in a bear hug. That is unbelievable. I've never seen that before. He had him in a bear hug.
Tell you what, 265 pounds. Dante Culpepper.
Tackle him high, Moose.
Second to Kenny Anderson, all-time single-season completion percentage coming in at over 70. Drills this one. Let's see if they call it a catch. And it is incomplete to Randy Moss. Moss has not been Moss in this game. There's no question about it. Came back and caught 4 last week after being out inactive with a hamstring for 3 weeks. Caught 4. He has 2 receptions in this one, and just not himself.
No, and remember last week, that was in the Metrodome. So you're able to keep yourself warm, keep that hamstring loose. You get outside in the elements today. Now, it's unseasonably warm for Chicago, but we're talking mid-40s as opposed to 75 degrees in that dome. So when he's on the sideline, that hamstring will tighten up on him.
Nathan Vasher has replaced Jerry Azuma at cornerback, the impressive rookie. And there is Culpepper keeping his balance and running out of bounds, and he got the first down. Let's see, maybe by the slimmest of margins. And now they're going at it, and they're exploding again. These teams had a melee in week number 3 when the NFL fined 9 Vikings and 6 Bears nearly $50,000 for a skirmish then, and the return engagement. I know you talked on the pregame show to the gang, saying maybe it's different a couple of weeks later. It's not different today.
No, and it's all up to the players how you're going to play it. You know, Randy was involved in the last one, and he seems to be the centerpiece in this one also. We'll take a look. We'll go all the way back to the end. There they are fighting up at the top right there. 33 Charles Tillman and Randy Moss. You got some elbows and some forearms up underneath the face mask.
You said it earlier, Moose, that time bomb can go off at any time when you got 2 teams like this.
Yeah, and those are the 2 guys. You know, we talked about the altercation last September, earlier this year, but you go back, those are the 2 guys that I think are even more, a bigger part of the story is Charles Tillman taking the ball away from Randy Moss to preserve that victory.
Marcus Robinson is wrestled out of bounds, so there are no penalties on the play. They just wrestled down. I don't think there were any punches thrown from what we could see. And you're absolutely right, Darryl. It was last December when Tillman just grabbed the ball away from Moss in the end zone. Bears won it 13-10, and that loss, as big as the game with Arizona at the end, cost the Vikings a playoff berth.
Yeah, I think people always automatically go back to that loss at Arizona, the season finale. But that was a very winnable game for the Vikings. Randy Moss said that he had that ball in his hands, which would have given him a 17-13 victory.
2nd and 5 from the 21. Culpepper, and trying to make the one-handed grab to no avail is Jermaine Wiggins.
Let's go back to last December and take a look. Now it's 13-10 Chicago right now. You don't see Randy Moss get beat at the catch very often. That's one of the few that I can ever remember where he gets his hands on the ball and doesn't come down with it. You know, Charles Tillman made a great play to take that away. That preserved the victory for him, and then Minnesota went on and ended up getting knocked out of the playoffs as the season culminated.
And Tillman returning as a starter after missing 8 games. There's Moss lining up. It's 3rd down and 5. Four-man rush. And Culpepper fires, and it's caught at the 11-yard line for the first down and a fumble. Randy Moss makes the catch. Did he cough it up again?
Well, I ruled him down by contact.
Yeah, they're saying he's pass rush right now.
Boy, anytime you do that, Goose, you got a good defense going. First down and 10, and there's the quick out to Nate Burleson. And Burleson is tackled inside the 10-yard line. Bringing up 2nd down, only a 2-yard pickup. Under 4 minutes remaining, 3rd quarter. Vikings trying to regain the lead in what has been a seesaw affair.
And they have done a good job once Minnesota has gotten down into the red zone of really tightening up everything. And Brian Urlacher with the big interception in the first half. And this is an area that Minnesota is extremely proficient at once you get down into this part of the field. And another thing you wouldn't expect, but Minnesota very, very good at 10-plus play drives. They have great consistency.
This is the 13th play of this drive. And the handoff to Ontario Smith. And the Bears are there to stop him. Smith has had a big day today, getting 81 yards, but not that time.
Now, I think the other reason, when you look at that graphic, when you talk about 10-plus play drives in the Minnesota Vikings, we've seen several examples on this drive of Dante Culpepper extending it. The one Jerry Azuma's got him wrapped up, can't get him down. He makes a great throw to Mo Williams for a big play. He scrambles and gets the necessary yardage on 3rd down. So I think that he is a big player in the ability to get on these long drives, because he gives you another set of downs with his athletic ability.
The loss of 2 brings up 3rd and 8 for the Vikings. Ball is on the 10. Culpepper in trouble. And down he goes, back to the 20. Jerry Azuma, who just came back for the game, and Alex Brown with big pressure, a loss of 10.
Alex Brown, number 96, coming in from the right side. You can't let that guy go unblocked. I don't know what happened in the protection scheme, but they let him go free. The coverage down the field is pretty good, but it doesn't matter because you turned Alex Brown, number 96, loose. Go Bears, they got a hand on this one right here. You'll see right in the middle. There's the push. You get in, you elevate. Looks like Mark Colombo, number 75, gets a hand on that ball.
And Anderson's kick skims off to the right. Anthony Thomas, who's the power runner. Good decision right now to go to a power runner against maybe a fatigued defense for the Vikings. Picks up 5 or 6 yards. E.J. Henderson makes the tackle. When Thomas was the principal ball carrier in weeks 8 through 10, the Bears won all 3 of those games.
Yeah, and Lovie Smith did a great thing, because I think Anthony Thomas probably wasn't happy in his role here, and there were some opportunities for him to trade Anthony Thomas. He decided to keep him, felt he was too important, and then when Thomas Jones went in, he did a great job filling in.
2nd and 4, not much there as Mixon comes in to make the stop on Thomas. So how about the Vikings in their last series, Darryl? 15 plays, 56 yards. They used up nearly 8.5 minutes and got 0.
Zero, nada. That's very deflating for a team. We were just talking about their ability to go on these long drives. And the Chicago Bears, I mean, their defense, they never give up. They had the interception in the first half. That seems like a throwaway play. You're going to line up, kick a field goal. NFL kickers are great at that, but they got a good push, and Mark Colombo got up, elevated, and blocked it.
3rd and 4. Hutchinson trying to keep possession for the Bears, and he does, as the pass is caught by Bobby Wade. 1st down on the 46-yard line.
And this offense has been sitting on the sidelines for a long time, waiting for another opportunity, because the last time they were on the field, they had a chance to put this team up by 10 points after that turnover that the defense created. They had 2 very poor plays, a sack given up to Kenny Mixon, and then a sack fumble to Lance Johnstone. So this offense needs to get back on track and get into that rhythm they had established.
1st down with seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Play action again. And here is Hutchinson. He's going deep. Well covered to Terrell, and he can't hold on. Had a chance for it. The ball was bobbled several times and couldn't make the play. Covered well by Terrence Shaw.
Boy, he has had 2 opportunities this afternoon to make a big game-changing play, and David Terrell right there. You've got to make that play. He had one in the first half, a long catch that would have put him 1st and goal inside the 10-yard line. He's got that same opportunity again. Just can't come down with the catch.
He did, however, make his first touchdown reception in the 2nd quarter. 2nd down and 10 on the 46-yard line of the Bears. Get a play fake. And again a reception. And it's Desmond Clark and the tight end with the last play of this 3rd quarter will get the ball inside the 35-yard line, a 19-yard. He is the 3rd quarterback or emergency quarterback today. Jonathan Quinn is the 2nd to that man, Chad Hutchinson, who has given the Bears offense some life. 1st down on the Vikings 35. Handoff to Anthony Thomas running up the middle. Stopped by Kevin Williams. Anthony Thomas averaging 93 yards a game in those 3 games he played. All wins by the Bears.
I have a lot of respect for Anthony Thomas because he found himself in a very difficult position. He knew that he did not fit the mold of the running back that was going to be the guy who this offense would be built around, but he never stopped preparing himself. He took advantage of his downtime to actually get himself into better shape, and it has paid huge dividends for this Bears team.
And does again as he runs for the first down on 2nd and 4. Thomas pounding it away. And it's early here. Mike Tice, who felt that his team, they won 3 more games out of the remaining 5, would be 10-6 and would at least be a wild card. But he has visions of a division title, knowing the Packers have a tough game coming up later on Fox against the Eagles in Philadelphia. First down on the 24, and again they go to Thomas. Thomas is stopped at the 21 by Steve Martin.
The Bears offensive line now really starting to be able to come off the ball. It's kind of funny. You would have thought they would have started out this way, very conservative running the ball, but Terry Shea very confident in what Chad Hutchinson could do in the offense. They threw the ball quite a bit, got back to some play action. Now getting into that mode, we're late in the 4th quarter. We're in a great position. Let's take some time off the clock and really start to grind the ball in the ground game. 2nd
down, and they do hand it off to Bernard Berry, and the rookie gets tripped up in the backfield and then down. Corey Chavis slowed it up. No gain when all is said and done.
It doesn't work in this part of the field. I mean, very rarely do you see the gadget play work when you get down here because, Tony, you know it as well as anybody, you get to this part of the field as a defender and you start to think about those things. But when you're backed up as an offense, you don't expect them to have the guts to call a gadget play deep in their end.
You never know, though. He saw one so early in the game. That surprised me also, Darryl.
3rd down and 6.
What I'm really surprised at is they're just playing base defense here with rushing 4 guys. I'm expecting to put more pressure on them.
4 wide receivers, and here is the run by Thomas. Thomas stumbles inside the 5, so they spread it out with 4 wide receivers and ran up the gut. 18 yards, 1st and goal for the Bears.
Here's the pressure that Tony's talking about, but they run a little draw up in the middle here, get a good block on Dontarius Thomas, and then there's nobody left. He runs himself out. I don't know where Dontarius Thomas was going on that play. That has got to be one of those situations that Mike Tice has talked about all week long. There's no reason for him to be running that far out. He had to be responsible for Anthony Thomas. So again, a missed assignment in this new defensive scheme with a young player.
3rd down and goal on the 5. They got 2 receivers, including a tight end to the left. Plenty of movement for the Bears on offense, and there's the pass wide open, and it's caught by Jason McKee, the backup fullback, for the touchdown. And look at the expression on the face of Chad Hutchinson. Jason McKee with a 5-yard catch, and the Bears lead at 23-14.
Boy, you know you're seeing the whole field when you find your backup fullback, E.J. Henderson, late getting over there in coverage. So I think on that drive, we saw 2 critical breakdowns at the middle linebacker spot. One, Dontarius Thomas, when they had the long run to Anthony Thomas that got him down to this part.
And Randy Moss, who has caught just 3 passes lining up to the left. And the left of Culpepper, and on 1st down, Dante Culpepper is sacked, and that's Brian Urlacher, who's done everything today.
There's a few guys around the league that when they are not in the lineup, the team is just not the same. I think Michael Vick may be number 1. Randy Moss could possibly be number 2, but this guy right here, as a defensive player, could be number 3. And he is just doing everything, and he's not even supposed to be back on the field right now. I mean, he did not have a simple surgery a couple of weeks ago. He has just been everywhere on the field today.
Loss of 7 yards and the 4th sack of the game for the Bears. 2nd down and 17. Culpepper, he completes it to Marcus Robinson, and Robinson will be short of the 1st down by about 3 yards, with Tillman making the play.
I would continue to work Charles Tillman. I know that he had the strip on Randy Moss earlier, but they have had a lot of success thrown in his direction. His 1st time back after getting hurt earlier this season. So he's still knocking some of that rust off on the outside. I'd make him start to wonder if he's all the way back right now.
They have Vasher on the other side, so Tillman and Vasher are the corners. Jerry Azuma on the sidelines right now. 3rd down and 3. Culpepper with time, and the pass incomplete. Flag comes down. Let's see if they call number 33 Tillman for the hold.
And you got backs, everybody's crossing. He has that knack of being able to find that open space to get to the quarterback.
2nd and 10 on the Minnesota 44.
Too long.
Culpepper hit by Boone, stays on his feet, and unable to grab it is Mo Williams. Amazing how Culpepper, like a pinball machine, has defenders bounce off him and stays on his feet and can at least attempt a pass.
It was Jerry Azuma again. I don't know, I think it was Alfonso Boone, the first guy went in. He went to swipe the ball from him instead of trying to get the sack. But I want you to watch Jerry Azuma, 23, coming in. He's at the bottom of your screen. Now, he never gives up on this play. There's Alfonso Boone trying to get it, but remember, he had him in the bear hug. He bounced off of him that time. Passing game, which hasn't existed until this afternoon.
Anthony Thomas is the running back. He was the workhorse in the last scoring drive for the Bears. And to no surprise, gets the call here. Trapped, and will go down and lose a yard. Kenny Mixon, a 1-yard loss on the play. And the clock, with 7 minutes and 40 seconds remaining, the Vikings have 2 timeouts remaining. Randy Moss has not been a factor in this game. As Mike Tice told us yesterday, he is closer to 100%. But Moss today has only caught 4 passes and nothing big.
And I think the elements today have been that reason. He started to come back last week inside at the Dome in Minnesota, but it's a little chilly out here this afternoon in Chicago.
Then they go to Thomas. And, of course, the Vikings are ready for him, led by Chris Claiborne. It'll be 3rd down after the 2-yard pickup.
Moose, you know, you talk about the elements. When we first started out here in the opening drive, it was the sun was out, and it got colder as the day went on. And it's sort of, you look at Minnesota's defense, they sort of got colder, started freezing up a little bit. It looks like they're in a block of ice right now.
What do you think? It's 33 degrees right now?
It's 32.
Third down and 9 on the 48-yard line of the Bears. Chad Hutchinson completes to the running back Anthony Thomas. First down for Thomas to the 41-yard line of Minnesota. So Hutchinson getting it done in a big way today.
And Anthony Thomas has really come up big in the second half for the Chicago Bears. He was very instrumental in their drive on the last scoring drive. And here a big conversion on 3rd down to allow the offense to stay on the field, keep Minnesota's high-powered offense on the sideline.
And all 3 Chicago touchdowns have come on 3rd downs. And those are the only 3rd down touchdown passes for the year for the Chicago Bears. First down on the 41 of the Vikings. Here's Thomas. And Thomas getting about 6 yards, tackled by Keith Newman.
We'll go back and take a little bit of a look at this. It got off with Desmond Clark on the touchdown. Dante Culpepper comes back, answers him to Nate Burleson right there. A big one at halftime, which you would have thought would have taken the wind out of the sails of the Chicago Bears, but they come right back. David Terrell with a touchdown. And they block a field goal by the Minnesota Vikings, and that leads to a touchdown catch by Jason McKee. So they have been opportunistic also. They've got a touchdown after a turnover, and that blocked field goal. They took the ball in that possession and went right down the field and scored again.
You nailed it. They answered the Vikings each and every time it appeared. 2nd down and 5 from the 36, and Thomas charging close to the first down, just short. The back as he is on passing situations. Out of the shotgun, Dante Culpepper. Protection breaking down and getting away. And now a foot race against linemen, and finally pushed out by Urlacher after picking up 9 yards.
Well, that's just more proof of the escapability of Dante Culpepper. He has done it all afternoon today, whether it's making guys miss on the outside and getting the necessary yardage himself. But there, Jerry Azuma has got him wrapped up, and he still has the presence to find Mo Williams for a big play on the outside. But you know, he's kind of like Donovan McNabb. Your work is only halfway done when you get Dante Culpepper wrapped up. You got to get him to the ground still.
2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Great percentage today for Culpepper. Second down and 1. Here's Mo Williams up the middle. Dives into Bears territory. Under 3.5 to go. 9-yard pickup, so 9 yards back-to-back by the Vikings, who need 2 scores in this game. Trying to win their 3rd in a row. Bears endeavoring to end a 2-game losing streak. Culpepper's quick pass caught by Wiggins. And the tight end out of bounds, getting about 6. The Bears defense, of course, that's the bread and butter of this club.
Yeah, the strength of this club. Jerry Azuma got him started early with an interception, gave him great field position. Then Brian Urlacher takes points away from Minnesota. Charles Tillman does it to Randy Moss again, strips him after he makes the catch. That didn't lead to any Bear points, but it just reinforces that doubt that these guys are out here and you got to protect the ball.
Second down and 4. Culpepper's pass, and it's caught by Wiggins after a Bear cut in front and tried to intercept it. Wiggins carries several defenders down to the 21-yard line for a gain of 21.
All right, Tony, give me the mentality of a defensive player in a huddle in this situation, because as a guy who played offense and had to sit and watch the defense try and protect the lead and watch a drive like this unfold, I want to know what you guys are thinking in there right now.
You want to go and get some more pressure up front. Go, take some shots. I mean, they've been doing it all day. Now all of a sudden, they're rushing 4 guys. They got pressure right there with only 4 guys. And get an interception, Darryl. That's what you need to do to get the turnover.
Jerry Azuma's second of the game. So the pressure was put on by Alex Brown, and Culpepper threw one too many. And Jerry Azuma with his second interception of the game. The 4th turnover by the Vikings, and the Bears at 2:01 have the ball in a 10-point lead.
Well, there's Alex Brown. He has been, to me, the best and most consistent defensive lineman for the Bears all season. Gets upfield on Bryant McKinney immediately, and you heard what Tony said. The pressure, right as he is releasing the ball, it changes the trajectory, because he's got Mo Williams open to dump the ball off to right there, number 20. But they hit. But the most impressive thing he did today was on 3rd down. They were 10 of 16 for 63%. That is where this team took a quantum leap in the offensive side of the ball.
Second down and 8. And here is Thomas Jones back in the game, and he'll get a 1st down. That's a dagger in the heart to the Minnesota Vikings at this point. Picks up 11 yards. And Randy Moss felt a little better this week, was not a factor. Long today, getting only 14.
This defense is only going to get better as they get more comfortable in it. Lovie Smith told us this could be a dominating group in the near future.
And Culpepper goes down, and the game is over. So the Bears win it, go to 5-7. The Vikings drop it, go to 7-5. And Dick Stockton for Darryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa.